RWBY.
RWBY. RWBY. RWBY.
Yes. you all wanted the rubies.
Yes.
So we got the rubies.
That we did.
Yup. So yeah. Here's the Blake short that y'all wanted. That came out the day after we did our last recording session.
Yep.
And you're like, "Where's Blake?" It's
complicated.
Life is pain. Anyone who tells you differently is trying to sell you something. So yeah.
That's true.
To quote from The Princess Bride. Hey Chico, are you done being mad at me now?
He's doing Mr. Pat, so I think he is ready to be picked up again. Yeah, there he is.
He's mad because he needed eye drops and he got eye drops, and he did not like it.
So okay, we got the Weiss trailer, and we were supposed to get the Blake trailer last month sometime, but it didn't come out until September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to get it in August. So now we're going to get 2 in 1 month, which is weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean, you know, I'll take what I can get.
No, I will too, because if we get, I think the next one is going to be
probably Yang if I had to guess.
I'd say so.
I'd say they'll do Yang and then
RWBY last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what. Actually, fuck this noise. Hold on.
This literal actual noise.
This real actual noise. Beep boop 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 beep beep boopity boop boop boop.
Boop 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 boop. Fix it in post.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, we're back.
Yeah. Okay.
Fixing it in post.
Just continue on.
Yeah. So it makes more sense for Ruby to be the last one, as she's kind of the main character.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't make sense to get Ruby and then Yang. That'd be weird.
That would be.
Yeah.
So, all right, opening scene here. We have a crowded market. I mean, and we're pretty sure there's going to be a fight.
I don't doubt
There's
that. Either that or a chase.
There's a lot of faunus around.
Yes, there are. Well, I think this is on the island, the Faunus Island.
Yeah, the building style is similar.
Yeah, I assumed it was Menagerie.
Yeah.
It's Menagerie, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Menagerie.
building style similar. It looks like the setting is also very tropical. You can see in the background it looks very... Very
palm
similar.
trees,
so,
palm trees in the background and all that. Yeah.
Yep. Palm trees, construction style, all that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, let's say we just get in there.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, there she is.
Yep.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Why'd you join the White Fang?
Same reason as you.
But
But why fight when I pass for human? It's okay. You're not the first person to ask. I know I look just like any other human girl. And for years, that's how I was raised. We lived in Mantle with the other faunus working the mines. My parents wanted something better for me. They managed to enroll me in an Atlas prep school. Imagine that. A little faunus girl from Mantle going to the City of Dreams. I felt like a princess. But I had to follow a set of rules.
Yep, here we go.
Yep.
No bringing friends home, no talking about my parents, and absolutely, under no circumstances, was I allowed to change colors. No one could know I was a faunus.
That Sounds terrible.
It wasn't. It was confusing at first, but it wasn't hard. Especially if it meant being an
Only
atlas.
4? Huh.
Probably didn't reload.
Sometimes the other girls would say things about the Fahnholz. That they were animals, that they were dirty, or they lied, and I'd say those things with them. Because I felt like I was one of them. And then, one day, there was a cave-in at the mines. I was at school, and the news broke. Apparently, one of the workers tripped while handling some agitated dust crystals.
Uh-oh.
The explosion caused a chain reaction,
That go boom.
and my friends snickered. I lost control. Every inch of me turned blue as I wept. And suddenly, all the girls that I'd laughed and played with were scared of me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. I broke their teeth.
Dang it.
What happened?
He got away. I'm sorry.
She can't commit to chasing down her best friend.
Yeah. John Woo? Oh, they weren't on fire, so it's not John Woo. This is true. Yeah.
So yeah,
There you go.
RWBY Volume 5, October 14th. So inching closer and closer, man. I mean,
Yep.
jeez. Every season that goes by, the animation just gets better and better and better.
It's true. And this time, the animation up is more subtle,
Yeah,
but you can still tell.
yeah. The big jump for me,
Was 1 to 2.
well, 1 to 2 was pretty good, but 3 to 4, 3 to 4.
Yeah, that's
the,
fair.
the
Yeah.
facial detail,
Yeah.
the facial details, and the details of the clothing are what really cemented the jump up in scale. This, I think, the object collision stuff that they did in this
Mhm.
was really good. Like Sun holding back the wagon
Yep.
and the scaffolding collapsing.
I'm noticing a little bit more. It's subtle, but it's the fine detail on the faces as well.
Yes, a little bit more movements.
Yeah.
Those little itty bitty movements that.
And just like upgrading the texture quality a little bit, it seems
Yeah.
like for example, I've forgotten the chameleon girl's name, but looking at her in Volume 4 versus Volume 5, you can see there's more difference. The shadowing on her face, for one thing.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Yeah, so it's just it's an upgrade in the model quality.
Also, the world just keeps getting bigger because we all
Yeah.
they even take cracks at it in like RWBY Chibi, where it's like the background characters are just black shadows.
Yep.
They were.
But and I mean you know your main characters because their hair and outfit is always way cooler than everybody else's.
This is true.
But the world around them has progressively been getting bigger and bigger.
Well, one of the
Which
main
is
things
nice.
that I noticed with this was you could also tell when Blake showed up because she was the only one wearing white. in that whole scene, and it was almost glaringly white.
This is true. I can see that.
So, yeah, it's just like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's our main character. Okay.
So, yeah,
Which,
there
I
you
mean,
go.
is, one of the fine points of animation. Like, old school animation, you could always tell what was going to move because it was shaded just that little bit differently from the background.
Well, because usually the background a lot of times was a static painting
Yeah.
that they had animation over top of.
Yeah, this you can feel, you can see the depth in the buildings and the
And
alleyways and everything.
The amount of people in the shot.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Huge amounts of people. And, okay, we see this little independent studio from Texas, capable of doing stuff like this with, I guarantee you, a budget of, I'd say, what would you say, like a few million, like $1 million or so?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I wonder what the budget on RWBY is. I'm not sure if it's like $1 million or something. But you look at the amount of awesome detail and work that's been put in this, and then you look at Food Fight, which had a budget of $65 million.
Purportedly $65 million.
If you gave Rooster Teeth $65 million and said, "Hey, we want you to animate this film for us. Here's the budget. Enjoy."
I mean, we would have gotten better, right?
Well, surely you could get like a RWBY trilogy movie set out of it or something for $65 million, right?
Well,
I mean,
easy. Yeah, donate I'd put at least $20 million per film. Or heck, you could cut it back and do $12 million per film and spend the rest on advertising. Because that's one thing they don't talk about. That's one thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing they don't talk about when it comes to films anymore. That's just like Pirates of the Caribbean, the most expensive film ever made. At World's End, $300 million. The promotion budget on it was equal to that. So altogether, that film costed $600 million. So with what Rooster Teeth is capable of doing, if they had a budget like that, I'm afraid of the kind of stuff that they put out.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at the animation studio that they've got, and also they've combined the other animation studios of Screw Attack, and that's what they've done. They went to the other animation houses that were in the companies that they bought,
And they've just
and they've combined them all together,
yeah.
and thus everyone's work gets better, whilst each of those channels kind of remain independent of one another, which is good. I like that.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
They made Laser Team, which is full feature-length film.
Yes.
So I wonder what their budget was for that versus what they've gotten in return for it.
Oh, well, from what I understand, the budget, they had, I think half of it was crowdfunded. It was $2.7 million crowdfunded, I think. And then, I think on top of that, they had donations from other producers, and altogether, I think the total budget that they had was around $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from the deal they worked out with YouTube Red and everything, I think they made their money back easy. Because you look at, they're doing a sequel now, and the sequel has an even bigger budget now.
Wow.
And usually if a film does not do well, then they want to make a sequel, they usually slash the budget.
Yeah.
That case in point, the Star Trek movie. The Star Trek movie had a huge budget behind it, and it was mostly spent on glory shots of the outside of
which Star Trek movie?
the first Star Trek movie.
Like
the original series.
Okay.
First, 1979.
Not Abrams verse.
No.
Okay.
Dude,
making sure.
1979.
Just
and
had to make sure.
And
there
then
was
Wrath of
clarification.
Khan had its budget gutted. So the
It
director
was
of
a
the
better
film was
movie.
just
And Wrath of Khan was a much better movie.
well, and then they had the budget gutted on Wrath of Khan, and the director had the idea, hey, let's use previous footage that they didn't use in the original film, and we'll use that. We'll use that on top of on the budget that we have here, and thus it became one of the best sci-fi films of all time.
Yep.
And honestly, greatness, you don't need a great amount of money for greatness. That's one thing that Deadpool proved big time, because Deadpool is the highest grossing X-Men universe movie. Wrap your mind around that. It is the highest grossing X-Men universe movie.
Well, when you compare it to some of the X-Men movies.
But no, you compare it to the great ones like Days of Future Past, X2, the first X-Men, Wolverine,
Or Logan.
Logan rather. You compare it to all of those,
Sorry.
and it is and it's still the highest grossing, and it had probably the lowest budget. I mean, 50 some odd $1 million. That's it. Compared to Days of Future Past, which had over $200 million. The returns on that is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I guarantee you, if Rooster Teeth was given the amount of money that Food Fight got, they would have made something
good God.
that would have made the money back easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see how much effort and love they're putting into this little series here. Yet I've actually heard some people say this is the little series that could, because no one thought it would succeed.
Yeah,
Nobody.
I mean, I'll admit, when I first watched the series, I was like, I mean, this is fine, but it's not gonna kick off. Then, it kept coming, and I'm like, huh. Well, and then I actually sat down and, gave it the watch through again. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Well, they didn't rest on their laurels.
Yeah.
That's one thing that a lot of people say. It's like, do good enough, hey, be happy about that. But if you do good and you have the opportunity to do better with something after, that's one thing that kills me about sequels nowadays. They do sequels as a cash grab, not because it could be a better story or anything like that. Instead of expanding the universe, they just tell the exact same story.
Yeah,
Case in point, Transformers. Case in point,
Oh, God.
so many great films out there that had subpar sequels because the studio was just like, just tell the same story again. People will love it. No. Instead, do something different that expands the universe, which is what RWBY has done every single season. A great film series that's done great expanding its universe so far, How to Train Your Dragon. The first How to Train Your Dragon was great. It was a really good kids film and all that. And then in the second film, the kids grow up and the audience kind of grows up with them because of the experience they go through, and it expands the universe. I mean, it's brilliant stuff, and that's what you have to have. If you're just doing it for a cash grab, then there's your problem.
Yeah.
You're not doing it for the story, you're doing it for the money, which almost never turns out well.
It's true.
I say almost never because there are exceptions to prove the rule.
And, I mean, there are some films that get sequels that were garbage, and the sequels are most likely just as garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Then there are some that are actually better.
Well, yeah.
There's some. They're few and far between, but there are some out there. Okay.
Anyway,
So
we've ranted enough. This was really good.
Yep.
October 14th. Oh, that is closer than I expected.
cannot get here quick enough.
Yeah. I mean, that's just over a month.
Yes.
Good God.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Yep. Just another little over a month until Micah gets mad at John again.
Or no, the internet really gets mad at Micah. That's all they
Well,
do.
the character's a lot better now, and now I don't even say anything, and people still get mad at me.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not helping with that.
Nope, you're
Well,
really not.
No, I'm really not.
Well, early on in the first season, there was actually an anime reviewer I like a lot, Giguk. Giguk, he did a little mini review of RWBY,
Mm-hmm.
and he called the arc. Well,
The Jean
the
arc.
the Jean arc, the bully arc, the first season bully arc. He said that was an absolute piece of shit arc. And
Yeah.
in
It was
all
pretty
honesty-
bad.
In all honesty, it wasn't the best written, and it was because Jean's character didn't grow at all during that entire thing. He was still the same. He was still the same f up.
Yeah.
And he still had Pierre there to save him. Which
well, it was exhausting. They devoted a tremendous amount of time developing this guy's character. Wasn't one of the title characters, and he didn't grow up from any of it. So
but
it's
he's
just
grown up now.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about that. I'm happy he's finally grown up.
Yeah.
which I don't like that style of character anyway. So it didn't really help that.
Yeah.
And that's fair. That's your opinion, and that's your like, and that's your taste in the whole thing. All right.
We gotta get
go
out
ahead,
of here.
go ahead,
Yeah, we
close
gotta get
out
out of
there.
here. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. This is a testimony that patience does pay off. And yes, we know when these things come out.
Yes.
You don't have to tell us because we know.
Yeah.
That being said, that's Nate, that's Micah, that's Elena, that's Chico, I'm Ben. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot the hat. found the hat.